Thank you very much. First of all, Comrade Marvin and all our friends that are here, I want us to disabuse ourselves of the word political party. We must not reduce the freedom of Ugandans to political party or politician. It's important for all Ugandans, those that are politically active and those that come off as apolitical, to understand that this is a struggle to liberate a nation. If we reduce it to political party, then we are reducing it to some people. There are those that don't belong to political parties. So many people actually don't find comfort in any grouping, but the truth remains the truth that they are oppressed. And why am I saying that? Many political parties here in Uganda, with all due respect, are just groupings of politicians to satisfy themselves. So you cannot say that the politics of Uganda or the freedom of Ugandans is going to be only ushered in by political parties. Of course, political parties, those that are on the side of Ugandans, those that are fighting against this oppression, have a role to play. But you must also understand that there are so many political parties that are formed or have been reduced to just eating clubs. So my conceived view is that it is not just a matter of political parties. It is Ugandans coming together. Those that are in political parties, those are in business working groups, and those in civil society. Ugandans from different walks of life. The majority of our people, those border people you see, they actually don't hold a party card of any political party. When you go to prison, majority of the political prisoners are not subscribers to any political party. They just subscribe to the truth. Many of our comrades with whom we have been pushing the people power movement, some of them actually don't believe in the idea of reducing their freedom to a political party. They are in the struggle for freedom. And many of them say it loudly that once the dictator is fallen, they can go and do their business in freedom. They can go and go about their lives in freedom. So what the people the people that need to come together are Ugandans, those in political parties and those that are not in political parties. So what do I mean in that case? What I mean is that we should mobilize Ugandans from all platforms, not only from political parties, but from all platforms. Otherwise, if we reduce this matter to political parties, then General Museveni can get 10, maybe 20 political parties, bundle them together, and then present them as the representation of the population, which is not true. We need to come together as Ugandans, yes, from different political parties, but even those that don't represent political parties. I don't know if I have responded to the to your
Yeah.
satisfaction.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President, for that. Yeah. At least now people need to understand it's not about the political party that you belong in, but
Yeah.
that need. Yeah. So thank you so much for that. Um, yeah, I understand there have been different things that the diaspora has been trying to do. Um, what more do we see on how best to empower the diaspora, especially if we all subscribe to our secretariat? What has the secretariat done to empower us more, or where do you think we should be more empowered more as the diaspora, as far as this struggle is concerned?
Thank you very much for that question. Now, again, and it's interesting that I am a leader of a political party, but when I'm addressing the diaspora, I would rather address the diaspora in its entirety. Because even before the coming of the National Unity Platform,
Yeah.
people in the diaspora were woke. They were agitating for a better Uganda. So I wouldn't want to just reduce the entire diaspora to the National Unity Platform. Yes, the National Unity Platform is the formal platform upon which we all come together. But we know that our diaspora is much wider than that. If anything, I would have loved to address it as a people power movement. So, coming back to the diaspora, I must appreciate most of our energy, most of our force comes from the diaspora. The information dissemination, the agitation. It is you people that have used the internet to the fullest with confidence to the extent that you've inspired us to speak truth to power. Most of the bloggers that empower people, those radicals, but even the mild ones, they push a message that speaks crude truth to power. So I must salute you. And besides that, as a national unity platform, we depend on you, comrades in the diaspora, a great deal. You have funded our campaigns. You have treated our sick in hospital. You have fed us on the rail, and you continue to connect and knock doors and agitate and lobby to ensure that policies change, to push for change in Uganda, and we salute you. But you can do more. Allow me to borrow the words of Comrade Daniel Kauma, our diaspora leader, who said the three things that the diaspora can do and are effective. That is organize, mobilize, and agitate. Let us organize the diaspora so that we can be able to speak as one voice. I see many times when we ourselves are clashing, especially in the diaspora. And I must salute Comrade Daniel Kauma for the leadership. He has taken a lot of heat, like many of us here. But again, that is the price of leadership. So I salute you very much. Let us organize ourselves so that number one, we speak with one voice and we also act with one voice. Let us mobilize each other so that any kind of action, moral action, we do it together. If it's protesting, if it's lobbying, if it's showing up in various places, if it's knocking doors, we should do it in unison. And finally, agitation. Make sure they keep hearing you non-stop in their ears. Those in the those development partners that are actually the wind beneath the dictator's wing, they should be they should be constantly agitated. They should be constantly reminded that they are actually sponsoring our oppression, and then agitate even on the side of the dictatorship here in Uganda. Keep our voices loud. Keep the issues that matter on the front page. Keep knocking those doors. Keep protesting. I want to remind you, friends in the diaspora, that it is your protests that keep me alive. It is your protests that are causing the releasing or dumping of our people. Uganda right now is worse than the days of Idi Amin. Because in the days of Idi Amin, it's only the intellectuals that Idi Amin was abducting. Today, the drones are abducting the women that sell kasoli on the road, the border riders, the barbers, and all common people of Uganda that are calling for change. So it's important that the diaspora keeps their eyes on Uganda and keeps our voices there. I thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. President, for that. The message is loud and clear. Doctor, are you there? Dr. Daniel, are you there?
Yes,
yeah.
I'm here.
I'll bring you through so you can take on the rest of the remaining questions with the president. Please go ahead. The floor is on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President, for those remarks and for re-echoing our focus as a diaspora to organize, mobilize, and agitate for change. That's something which we need to continue pushing forward. My next question, and I think it's the question on the minds of many Ugandans, people ask, what can we do different, especially as we look to 2026, even beyond elections? The question is always is what we are doing working? Is what we're doing effective? Is it moving the needle? I think it's a tough question to answer strategically, and of course, we're in a public domain where we can only say a limited amount of information. But overall, in the struggle, usually we have nothing to hide. We say, what's our strategy moving forward, and how are we going to move the needle differently from where we have in the past? And that's the question we face in the diaspora from many of our members. You saw how energized the diaspora was in the 2021 elections. I think most people thought that this was it. Many diaspora members were ready to pack their bags and go back to Uganda. And of course, they went through that disappointment. And we're often reminded that this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
But most of our members don't see it that way. They want results. They want to see that we have a strategy to get rid of Museveni. So, what do you think we can do more, both in the diaspora and, of course, in the ground, to move the needle, to motivate our people? Because we know what Museveni is doing is to abduct people daily, beat people on the streets, and they scare people from coming even to vote for their candidate.